Good morning. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a daily to-do list or like a daily task list. If you want to grow your business, you need to have a plan. And to go along with that plan, you need to have the actions that are going to get you those results, okay? What happens a lot, this has happened to me and I see this happen all the time, is like, oh, I need to recruit. I should message 100 people. And you get freaked out and you don't have time to message 100 people. So how many do you message? None. I should start parties. I need to get 50 parties going right now. I don't have time to message that many people. So how many people do you message? None. I know this because this has happened to me. So I started doing a daily task list. There's a couple ways you can do it. But the task list, number one, holds you accountable. It helps you keep track of what you're doing. Let me show you. I'm going to show you a couple different ones. One of my favorite ways is I have certain things that I do every day. And then there are a couple days a week where I do different things. Like I'll do follow-ups a couple days a week, things like that. But what happened when I first started is I would message people about recruiting. And like 4 days later or a week later or whatever, I was like, I want to message that person again. And I couldn't think of their name. Okay, well, I message so many people. Going through my inbox is crazy. So I'd be like scrolling, waste of time. And if I wouldn't have thought to remember, like if I wouldn't have remembered that I needed to follow up, then it never would have happened. So I have a couple things I do. You need to work off of this and figure out what works for you. But ultimately, if you want your business to grow, you need to do some sort of task list. If somebody wants coaching from me, first thing I say, where's your task list? Don't have one, let's figure one out. That's okay if you don't have one, we're gonna do one now. But I'm not going to spend all this time, all this personal time coaching you if you can't even have a task list, okay? So let me show you a couple samples and then we're gonna explain a few things. I'm gonna screen share with you here. Okay, should be able to see that. So, little small, but don't worry, I'll post it in the comments under this. Here's a sample task list. This would be fairly basic. You also need to do your task list based on how fast you want to promote, what your goals are, okay? Your sponsor or your team leader, or I can help you if they're MIA, that's fine, I'll help you. We can help you come up with one. But you can't say, well, I want to be green and I am going to message 2 people a week. That's not going to work, okay? So here's a sample task list. You need to message people every day. Sending 5-10 messages really doesn't take that long. And when you consistently are doing those 5-10 messages, then you're kind of having that flow of people for recruiting, for parties, for sales, whatever it is you're messaging about. Some of the biggest messages, probably the bulk of them, I would recommend recruiting. But if you have no parties started, you might want to send a bunch of messages, you know, right at first to get some parties started. So here it has message 8 people, parties times 3, so meaning have 3 parties going. Add 5 friends. It has down follow-ups and there's slots. You could put the people's names to follow up. There's postings. So you don't want to forget to post in your page, in your group. Personal development. Read the Big Owl's book. You could put down, I would recommend putting down a time as far as say, hey, I'm going to read it for 15 minutes or I'm going to read 1 chapter a day. Because again, when you're like, oh, I need to read that book, I don't have time. But if you read 1 chapter every day, spend 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, then you start getting the whole book read, okay? You need to read training groups. I would write down the specific names of the training groups that you need to read. Pretty much for everybody on my team, it should be Lash Mafia, Lash Hens, Lash Stars. We have the mock party group right now too, but it's doesn't have posts every day. So that's more of a basic one. It can totally be tailored. Those are just some ideas. It's not all inclusive either. There are a lot of other things you could do as well. It also has the days up at the top. And this one's kind of fun because when you message 8 people, you can put their name right in these slots right here and save this sheet. And maybe 2 weeks later, you know, you go back to that sheet and you can kind of start following up with those people again, or maybe it's a month later, like whatever your system is, okay? Here's another one. This one is a little bit more hardcore. So per day, 10 recruiting messages, 5 party messages, 5 team messages. Maybe you want to send out encouragement. Maybe you want to congratulate somebody on a promotion. Add 15 new friends. Here's where you need to always have those parties going so that you have new friends to connect with. If you don't continually add new friends, you're not going to have people to ask to recruit. You're not going to have people to ask if you can do parties for them. So you have to add friends. You have to add friends, okay? Comment on 10 FBs. This is awesome. When you start getting those new friends, I always keep a list of the new friends I make. Go through that list, comment on 10 Facebook profiles. If they posted something about dinner, oh my gosh, that looks so good. What's the recipe, right? Go for the No as a book. So that's where it's the 15 minutes. And here, this one's marked out. See where it says one product demo, and then there's an X on like Tuesday, and there's an X on Friday and Saturday. I don't know. That would be the days you do those. And a training video on those days too. This is an old sheet of mine, okay? But I always put those on the same days because maybe those are days that I'm actually have pants on. I'm not kidding. Watch a training video. The biggest mistake I feel that people make, okay, is they don't learn and they don't continue to learn and educate themselves. I still go to YouTube. I still go to Whitney Husband's website and I watch videos. Sometimes I rewatch videos. Check Facebook groups. Always got to go check those groups. New presenter coaching. So I'll actually fill in the names of the people that I'm personally coaching right now. The leaders, the ones that I'm working with this week or this month, whatever that is. And it goes on down. But some of the most important things you need to have, especially starting out, is you need to be doing personal development. This sheet's really good for starting out. You need to be doing personal development. You need to be furthering your education on the products and the business. You need to be making sure you do the postings, the follow-ups. You need to be making those new connections, which is through the parties, and you need to be messaging people, okay? I don't even know how to stress how important this is. Like, just trust me, do it for a month. You're going to be amazed at what happens to your business. Let's see. I already showed you. It's not the one I wanted. Okay, so there are other things that you can put on here. Again, this isn't all inclusive. One thing I do like to do is have my task sheet for every week. And then I have my binder, which has a category for recruiting messages, one for party messages, one for new friends. And as I'm sending those recruiting messages, I go through and I start writing their names down just on a big list. When I send those party messages, same thing. And then I can kind of go back through that list, follow up, make sure I didn't miss anybody, anything like that. Obviously, follow-ups is a huge thing. It's not on here because this one ran out of space, but it should be on here. This was just an example that I made for you guys. Okay, so that's all I've got for today. I think it would be pretty awesome if you guys would comment below with your task list, because you guys are going to bring up things that I haven't even talked to you about that's on here, and you guys can kind of get ideas from each other. But the biggest thing to remember, what is your goal? What do you need to do to get there? Remember, if you're headed for green, you need to be hardcore, okay? If you're headed for a promotion, you need to be hardcore. And then you need to make sure you do it every day. And I would recommend an accountability partner because it's easy to be like, I'll do it later. All right, guys, that's all I got for now.